Hi guys, and welcome back to another video on my channel. If you want to know how to get a proper British accent, then keep on watching. Pro tip number 1. Drink as much tea as possible. And it can only be proper English tea. Pro tip number 2. Read as much Harry Potter as possible. Watch Harry Potter at least 2 times a day, and I mean all movies. Pro tip number 3. Do 1 and 2 at the same time. Marvelous weather today. Have you watched Harry Potter? Indeed, it was a splendid experience. Okay guys, now jokes aside, as you probably know, in Germany we start learning English at the age of 10 or 11. I've been learning English for more than 12 or 13 years now, I don't really know. And yeah, that's why it's quite proficient. The problem is that in schools here in Germany you don't really have the chance to speak a lot in English. That's why we usually have a very strong German accent. I actually had that accent as well until I did my A-levels, and I actually only got my native sounding accent when I went to uni. So what I basically did is I didn't really know if I wanted to get a rather American sounding accent or a rather British one. So what I basically did in my first semester at university, I had some American professors and some British ones, and at that time I realized that I really like how English people sound. So in the upcoming semesters I always choose British native speakers to be my professors because, I didn't want to get an American accent. I actually got a lot of shit for that, but to me it's not like I don't like America, but I rather like the sound of British people. So what I basically did, so I had these British professors and teachers, and we also had some language courses, and that's actually where I really learned how to speak in English. I could do it before, but I was fluent, but I really had to think about what I was saying, and I couldn't talk freely. And yes, that's what I actually can do right now. Finally coming to the point, what I really did is I listened very closely to what my professors said. I really listened to every single word and how they pronounce them. Of course, I got a lot of things wrong, and I know that I still sometimes tend to sound a bit German, but yeah, that's how I really got into it. You have to know that this doesn't come from one day to the other. You don't learn an accent from scratch. It has taken years of practice. That's not the only thing how I improved myself. So what I also did when I was at uni, I always looked for tandem partners. I don't know if you know what that is. I'm going to explain it quickly. So someone comes, for example, from the UK. That person speaks German as the second language and of course is a native speaker of English. So I'm the opposite. I learn English and I'm a native speaker of German. So what we do is we talk in one language for, 1 hour, and in the other language for another hour, so that both of us can practice the language we're learning. And that's how I actually really improved myself. I met many Americans back in the day, and it wasn't really like tandem partners. We really became friends and did a lot of stuff together. People always told me it's important to have one distinct dialect or accent, but to me I think it's rather important to really not sound like a foreigner. You usually immediately know how or where people come from when they speak in English, and that's not really a problem I have. For example, many British people actually think I'm American, whereas American people think I'm British. So that's actually good for me because they don't hear that I'm not a native speaker myself, and I think there is no better compliment than that. So my tip is, if you really want to get a proper accent and if you want to speak more fluently in the language you're learning, you really have to interact with native speakers. That's basically the most important part of it. If you just started learning a language, I think it's enough to learn it from a book, because I don't think that pronunciation is that important in the beginning. It's important that you get that grammar right. So what I basically did at uni is I perfected my language skills. My English was decent before, but now I can, well, elaborate myself a lot better. And yeah, I know how to speak like a native speaker, and that if you want to get a decent understanding of language, you have to like get a proper accent at some point. Sorry, I just have to change the camera. I think that looks a lot better right now. So yeah, so these are the most important factors, or that's how I actually improved myself. What I also did is I played games in English, I watched movies in English, and my pro tips at the beginning weren't even really jokes. I was even a bit honest, because Harry Potter helped me so much to improve myself. Just watch a movie, although you've watched it a million times, just watch it in the language you're learning, and you can just improve yourself so much. I actually improved myself a lot after I traveled alone to London 2 years ago. In 2015 I already developed a rather, English accent, and it wasn't perfect at that point, but I slowly got there. So what I did, I always wanted to travel to London, and I decided, hey, how about going to London for 2 weeks? So what I did is I traveled there alone, and I think that is very important if you want to improve your language skills. When you're traveling with friends, you never really speak in the language that is spoken in the country, but when you travel alone, you're forced to speak that language all the time. I was forced to speak English non-stop for 2 weeks, and I've never done that before, and it helped me so much. It was only 2 weeks, but still in that time I improved so much. It was just incredible. People asked me if I actually lived in London for a few months, but I didn't. So yeah, I had to jump at the deep end and just try to get along by myself, and it eventually worked. I mean, I'm still alive, and it only helped me. I think that's it. These are my tips and how I improved myself. This may not apply to everybody. Some people need longer to learn an accent. Some people don't ever learn a certain accent. So I'm very happy with mine. Tell me about your experiences. So if you have anything to say, you're welcome to do that in the comment section. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Like it and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that. And yes, see you in the next one. Bye guys.